Hi, this is a shot-by-shot breakdown of my my film, Not a Chance. This is the old Final Cut. I'm doing a resubmission, so I'm talking about each of my shots. Well, what I'm doing is I'm grouping shots into relevant subjects, and I'm going to talk about them. These are my production titles. They're going to say the same from my first to my resubmission, and yeah, it's my titles. There's nothing special about them. Now, first thing to know about my film, if you've not already seen it, is that all my shots they're kind of bunched together. There's it was 3 characters, but there's 2 characters. There's the boy and the girl in the first part of the opening. And what will happen is one of them will start an action and the second one will finish it. So instead of doing it shot by shot, I've bunched the start and finish of the action they're doing together to talk about them. It'll be easier that way. So the first shots that are happening is basically the boy and the girl are basically waking up and turning off the alarm. So the shot's got the alarm clock going at the start, and then it gets turned off as one of the characters reaches for it and the other one turns it off. That is exactly what it says. I'm not trying to I'm trying to signify it's the morning because they're waking up and there's an alarm clock. And using using them like the shots linking into each other, I'm trying to kind of signify that they're both in a relationship. One of the big problems with my film was a lot of the time over the top of the soundtrack you can hear the whirring noise of the tape, because when the camera films it picks up all the sound, all the ambient sound, and one of the sounds it picks up is the tape in the camera spinning, and you can notice it a lot when there's no music, which you can notice it a lot at this point. Onto the actual shot itself, this bit's simply the 2 characters just like the boy starts to get out and then the girl actually gets out of bed. She doesn't jump up. It's exactly the same as the previous shot. It's trying to signify that it's the morning. Because of the soundtrack, what I've done with these shots is I've had the 2 characters click play and turn up the volume on some speakers. I intended on originally having it so that the soundtrack started playing really quietly and then built up as they did it, but because of the time and because of the style of the music, it didn't actually work very well. With these shots, I'm trying to show them opening the blinds. Once again, signifying that it's morning, and because they're opening the blinds, it's bright outside, so it's the morning. Though in my new film, because I've been filming and it's in December, it's actually the other way around now. It's dark when they open it, so it still kind of signifies. But this kind of signifies that it's set in summer. And with the boy, it shows that it's shown the first title, which is that it's directed by Calvin Mormon, which is me. Now I wanted the titles to be as diegetic as possible. Which is actually something I've done a little bit differently in the second one, but I'll come on to that later. These next 3 shots are it's the boy walking into the toilet, into his bathroom, and I haven't actually filmed. I haven't actually filmed the anything happening with the shower, which is something I intend to correct with my reshoot. But what I've done is having them walking in and then closing the door, and then it cuts to the girl drying her hair. I'm hoping to signify that they've been and had a shower, because it's something you tend to do in the morning. The last 3 shots have been the characters putting on their clothes. I've tried to use kind of the way that the clothing is put in the room to kind of signify the kind of person they are. I know my character's a geek, but I wanted him to be kind of like a bit different, kind of trying to show that he's a guy, not just like someone that's really organised. So his clothes are actually on the floor to show that he's messy, and the girl's clothes are in a wardrobe to show that she's like neat. These 2 shots are used to kind of show individual actions that the girl and the boy do. The girl's putting on makeup, so this shows that she's wants to look good, which is kind of girl I wanted this character to be. The shot with the boy is a bit different because I needed to incorporate another title, and I know not many people put their watches in their drawer and get it out every morning, but I thought I used that as an excuse to add another title. So I had the character take out some items which kind of show the person he is, like Game Boy, Rubik's Cube, to show his missing scene. And then he takes out the title. Now I'm not too happy with the title just because it's a piece of paper with writing on it, but I didn't seem to get many bad feedback about it, so I kept it in, and it also saved me time. Once again, another act to do with the morning. The characters are getting some breakfast. The shot with the girl opening the fridge from the inside is probably my favourite shot from the entire opening, and I got quite good feedback for it actually. The shot of the boy I quite liked actually. The title I didn't. I had to go and refilm that because I didn't actually have the little magnetic letters at first, and at first I just had a piece of paper on the door that looked really bad. But because of the change in lighting, which I couldn't really replicate very well, it kind of changes it. And I didn't also have a tripod because I was in a rush, so it's quite shaky as the camera. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. All these next shots are just shots of them getting ready to leave school, brushing their teeth, putting on their shoes and picking up the bags and opening and closing the door. Once again, it's not really trying to signify anything apart from trying to get across the idea that maybe, just maybe they're in a relationship, or there's a big link between the two, which there is, but surprise comes later. But I'm just going to try to signify that it's the morning. These next 2 shots are they're not really trying to signify anything, though the idea is to kind of walk into school. But I put them in because I needed to get 2 titles in, one for the starred by the girl and one starring Edwin as the boy. And I've done this through diegetic titles. Now, I quite like the titles, especially the iPod one, though the actual title itself is not very good because it was rushed and very last minute, both of them were. I do like the title on the photo card, but I don't like the fact that she kind of gets out of the pocket and then it randomly shows it. So for my resubmission, I'm intending on actually having a bit of, like, the girl's waiting at the bus stop and she gets the bus pass out to make it more kind of realistic. But apart from that, I do really like both those shots. These 3 shots now are showing that they're in school because there's some lockers, and the idea is they're both putting some bags into the lockers. Now this is the first point where the audience will be like, wait, why aren't they kind of talking to each other? So this is kind of where, this is like the end of my opening. So yeah, because the idea is, well, you could put books into the lockers to show that they're both quite kind of clever. Though the girl character doesn't really have to, she could be clever if she wants to be. Yeah. this next 4-second clip is quite interesting. The idea is the boy likes the girl, but he's not actually. He doesn't. Well, she doesn't particularly know him. So he's kind of the idea of the hair going back and forth in slow motion is kind of this kind of stereotypical image from like rom-coms when a character sees an attractive girl. Now, a problem I've just noticed is actually when it gets to the next time you see the boy, he's not actually looking at her, so the continuity is a bit off. But and also when I got some feedback from the examiner, actually, he said that the swishing of the hair could actually be extended.
Hi.
This bit is where you finally see the connection between the boy and the girl, and you kind of find out that actually she doesn't really know him. So basically what happens here, she says hi, and the boy thinks that she's talking to him. Typical scenario. So when he says hi, she doesn't ignore him, but at this point her character is signifying to be her boyfriend. The big jock character, he walks past and then knocks him into the lockers because he's kind of jock and they pick on the weak. So yeah, that's the idea. And then the girl and the jock embrace, kind of signify and anchor that they're in a relationship or that there's some connection between them.
Who's that? Nobody.
This bit is the bit where the boys like slid down the lockers and they walk past. It's showing that his face expression is meant to be. I don't know if it kind of looks like this, but he's meant to look kind of sad but a bit angry. To show that he doesn't like the jock character, but it's sad that he has basically made a fool out of himself. The line, what you're looking at, nothing, is to show, but the thing is to kind of show that actually there is something between the girl and the Edwin on the floor, because she looks over the shoulder, kind of checking to see if he's all right, to look at him. So this is kind of what brings you onto the actual film. If I had made it, this kind of idea that maybe something will happen instead of you just thinking, oh, all is lost. And then the jock character, his line, what you're looking at is just kind of showing that he's downright ignored the geek character. Now this last bit is basically me getting the title of the name of the film, Not a Chance. So because the character's like down sat down on the floor leaning against the lockers, what I would do is put his head in his hands, kind of show that he's upset, and then because he could be, the title is Not a Chance, which is the idea behind that is that he thinks he doesn't have a chance with this girl. So what I've done is I've had a thought bubble that kind of appears going out of his head. So what I did is I filmed it over the space of like 40 seconds and then got him to pause as I put the next thing down, next bubble. So it's a 12-second long clip from stationary position, but it has the bubble coming out. So yeah, finishes on the title, and that's the end of the opening. And it's also in the soundtrack. So yeah, so this is the end of my shot-by-shot breakdown of Not a Chance, my final cut for him. Last final cut. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will look forward to my next one.